The court case is coming to a close. We have to decide whether the witnesses that presented the case for the resurrection of Jesus are believable. He spent 40 days or is spending 40 days with them, his apostles who knew him. So it's not some stranger that's trying to tell us that this man rose from the dead. It's people who lived with him for 3 years. His mother, she was there when he died. She received his dead body. So she has to be a reliable witness. She has nothing to say, but she doesn't contradict what they say. So if he rose from the dead, things change. Think about it. Yesterday's readings from the Acts of the Apostles were very interesting because there is Peter who hates the Samaritans, John who has nothing to do with the Samaritans because they're not only half-breeds, they don't worship at the temple. And yet, Jesus, when he spoke to the woman at the well, she was Samaritan. He shouldn't have talked to her at all. And yet he did. Asked her for something, asked her to drink from the same cup that her soiled, filthy lips would drink from. She was a prostitute. That's the only reason she'd be out at 12 o'clock looking for water. So she wouldn't meet anybody from the town. But he speaks to her about the truth. She throws up, "I'll go get my husband." And he says, "You have no husband. You've had 7 and the one you're with is not your husband." He doesn't pull punches. But with what love he spoke to her, didn't turn her away. She throws up another story. "We worship here at this mountain, and you Jews worship in Jerusalem. What difference does it make? We worship the same God." "Oh, no. Jesus doesn't accept that either." No pulling the punches with Jesus. You have to go to Jerusalem. Salvation comes for the Jews. But he did it with kindness. So much love could she detect in his speaking. Love for her life, that she goes into the town and becomes his disciple and brings people to hear him. And they believe not because of her, but because of him. Peter and John, go down from Jerusalem happy. And they meet these Samaritans whom they had no use for before. And they pray that the Holy Spirit come upon them, because true Christians need 3 sacraments to become fully initiated, fully baptized, if you like. The baptism of water, the confirmation in the Spirit, which is what they gave, and then the Eucharist. Those 3 things need to be combined, and the early church did that, and the church today does it in the East and some in the West. But those are what makes us Christians. But we change, whether we want to change or not, by our baptism, by accepting the truth that Jesus rose from the dead. We change as Peter and John changed, and we're joyful that the Samaritans received the Lord. Are we joyful when sinners come back to God? The second reading talked about giving witness, and it said when you give witness, you have to do it with reverence and with kindness. That's not the word they use. Gentleness. Gentleness is the word. Are we kind and gentle? Are we reverent when we bear witness to Christ? They were so kind and so gentle that they converted people. We don't convert people because we're not kind and gentle. And we don't do it with love. If they don't detect love in your heart, they're not going to ever be changed, because conversion is heart speaking to heart.